I don't know. It's been a while since I put up anything. I think this is a rainy day. I think um, there's not really much to do. Um, I mean, I plan not to do much today anyhow. I believe that, people should take those moments for themselves where, like, they just let their mind rest, or just do something that's different from the everyday norm where they're constantly going. I used to be like that, or I used to do a lot of planning. I would have activities booked in advance, and I think I over tire myself out, over exhaust myself, where then I would need to collapse or be, in a way, it feels like it was a healing period of like a day or two, but sometimes it felt insufficient, and you're back in the grind, doing those things again. Um, I think but back then I used to think like, oh, if I don't keep doing this, I don't, stay social. I'm kind of letting time slip through my hands. Um, and I think that mindset in itself was kind of toxic, at least to me, because I didn't have a good understanding of who I was, right? I didn't understand what my needs were, except for I was measuring my, um, my success against others. I think success looks very different, or I shouldn't say success. I think happiness looks very different in many different forms, and people can be different in many different, in various capacities. Um, for example, I always think of the story or a couple of stories that illustrate this, like where you don't have to have all the materials in the world, you don't need to have all the money in the world in order to be happy. Yes, you should have enough money to live by. But how you live is really, it's a personal choice, right? So we shouldn't be measuring um, happiness against each other, rather than yourself, you stay your own course, and you go in that particular trajectory, and there's no one way to get to that. You can listen to all the different vlogs, watch all the different TikToks that's and Instagram stuff that's out these days. But do keep in mind that a lot of this is curated and it's edited, just for content, because they're content creators. So it may not always be that they're showing what's really happening. Creating this the type of content that they do is very deliberate, right? So always put that in the back of your mind. Even what I'm saying, I guess it's in a way it's not truly expressing my own thoughts at times, because you know in working in this society, in this current day, a lot of things get taken out of context. I wouldn't say a lot of things. Let me just walk that back. Certain things do get taken out of context, and it's reframed in a way that is um, politically advantageous, or from a marketing perspective, advantageous, if to throw these things out of or re-emphasized, or dramatized in a way that is beneficial to one party and detrimental to another. I think there's too much of this, like, things that are going out in society current day, where one person is speaking about something, and then if somebody doesn't agree with what is being said, they usually take a snippet or do this and that, and they spin to take their own spin and try to make a point, yeah, and as a way of elevating their point. So and I think that is the current issue that we have these days, where we tend to only hear one side of things, right? There's just so much podcasts, so even our news source is not uh, immune to that type of um, immune to that type of storytelling, or reporting, however you deem, because there's not to be a conspiracy theorist, but all these big news network and even these content creators, they have their own beliefs, they have their own political stance, it's colored with a certain opinion. um, it's nothing. It's very rare these days to see something that is reported neutrally, and with with in a factual manner, or objective manner. It's really hard to find those type of contents. Even what I'm expressing is my opinion, right? So it's kind of based on my position or what my thoughts are, and I just think that if we really really want to come towards a particular be more moderate and be more objective, though being objective doesn't necessarily mean being moderate, um, is to allow people to hear both sides of the situation. And as an intelligent viewer, you should also research the other side of the argument. Doom scrolling, or bias seeking scrolling is very much a thing. I mean, I've done it before. I can certainly say, like, if there was something that didn't quite seem right in my mind, I would not read that book. I don't agree with the position of that book. I don't really stand for what, but that's not a way to go. And in pushing that type of thought, I think it doesn't allow for us to see a whole picture. And if we're not able to see the whole picture, how we're able to see, or get a better sense of what the truth is, right? Um, and I feel like that's where a lot of the division in this country comes from. Rather than having safe spaces to talk and have allow people just to express what their thoughts are on that topic, and even to a certain extent kind of provide a certain type of guideline, not an objective guideline on how these discussions should be. Not that, like, oh, this person can't speak at all, or only that person can speak, and not addressing some of the remarks that are probably are undue, like not necessary. Keep your personal attack. Don't personally attack a person, because that once you personally attack a person, that specific individual, you're already taking a big L. Something a lingo that I adapted from watching people online. Stick with the topic. And though I'm going to talk about it in the second video,